Hey friend, Sean from Draft Therapy here, and on today's review for you, will that be one scoop or two? Scoop is an 8% Imperial Milk Stout from Five Shores Brewing Company in Beulah, Michigan. We got a new brewery on the channel today, and that's always an exciting day. It's Five Shores Brewing Company out of Beulah, Michigan, and I've been seeing a couple of their beers on my local shelves, and it sounded like a good time to give them a try. I'm always on the lookout for new beers to talk about with you guys, so it's almost like another Christmas, even though it just passed, but it's almost like another Christmas when I'm able to do that. So let's not waste any more time. We'll take a look at the label, we'll get it into a glass, but first, I'd like to thank my executive producers, Ryan Berry, Rob Santana, Eric Latowski, Zach, and Brian Kramer for helping bring this review to you today. If you'd like to become a producer, help out the channel, or maybe just buy me a beer, take a look at my Patreon at patreon.com/draft_therapy, where you can get early access to these videos and a few other special perks available only to patrons. So let's take a look at the label. This looks like it should be like a chocolate ice cream container. It says just really nice and plain, but super just, it makes the point, scoop. And all over the label are these black and white sprinkles. I guess maybe you could think of it as like a cupcake, but when I think of scoop, I think of ice cream. On the top left side, it says Five Shores Brewing. And then across the bottom, it says fresh from Benzie, produced and packaged by Five Shores Brewing in Beulah, Michigan, not pasteurized, keep cold, enjoy fresh. And then it has a government warning across the bottom. It has their, it just has their Facebook and Instagram. Doesn't really tell you where to get that information. But on the side here, it says Scoop Double Milk Stout, brewed with Dutch cocoa, aged on cocoa nibs and vanilla beans. And it has their canned on date, which is actually a QR code. And let's just test this out right here. I didn't even think to look at this earlier. But let's see, what does it say? So it actually has a couple of beers on their thing, on their website here. So this scoop was canned on December 2nd, 2020. It's December 26th. It's the day after Christmas. That's a pretty cool idea. I don't know if I'd want to scan this every time to see what it is, but it's cool that they have that available to you. So, because there's nothing on the bottom, I paid $4.09 for a single can of this scoop from Five Shores Brewing. So I'm going to use a Tiku glass. I've kind of rinsed it out. So we have my Holmes Tiku glass. Let's go ahead and crack it, put a nose on the can. So when I popped it, there was no audible, like a hiss, like a carbonation escaping, but we still have to pour it. So it smells really chocolatey, like super chocolatey. So let's go ahead and pour this. Very dark coming out of the can. You can kind of see through it a little bit. It's a little bit of a brown kind of cola looking beer pouring directly down the center there. There wasn't much of a head when I initially poured it, but it collected quite nicely. Started collecting more as I, let it kind of fill up. And I see a nice amount of bubbles, carbonation floating up from the bottom. It's about a finger, being generous, it's about a finger's worth of head. It is kind of a tannish head, really super tiny bubbles though. And let's go ahead and hold this up. Yeah, that's super dark, not seeing through it. The bulb across the bottom here is a dark brown, maybe has a bit of a red tinge, but it's dark brown. So let's put a nose on the glass. Yeah, it just smells like very, very dark chocolate. Has a bit of a sweetness underlying too. So it's got a nice dark chocolate aroma, but it has just a bit of a sweetness, like a sugary kind of sweetness. I can't really put my finger on. Maybe it's a bit of a milk chocolatey kind of aroma, but it smells very dark chocolate with a bit of a lighter chocolate aroma. So let's go ahead and try it out. Cheers. Wow. Has a really thick, not syrupy, but heavier than medium mouthfeel. Medium's like I always kind of compare it to medium. Like it's not really super thick, but it has a thicker mouthfeel. It's not syrupy. It's not cloying. It doesn't stick on your tongue. It is heavy, but it doesn't stick there. And let's take another taste because I have a lot of kind of thoughts about the flavor here. That's a really nice flavor. The mouthfeel, when you kind of let it swish around in your mouth, take a bit of a bigger kind of swallow there and you let it swish around it, it produces like this creamier kind of mouthfeel that just kind of sticks around, and that kind of moves around on your tongue, and it's a really nice, like I said, it's a nicer kind of creamier feeling that you get just on that taste. And the thing that I'm really picking up on is big dark chocolate, but it's not super bitter dark chocolate. It's a nice, just kind of biting into a darker chocolate bar, like a candy bar, but not with that. It's not so dark that it's bitter. It has a bit of a bitterness, but it's not overwhelmingly bitter. It's not like baker's chocolate where there's like just bitterness and there's really no sweetness. A really high percentage dark chocolate, sometimes you have that and it dries your mouth out and there's just no sweetness there. There is a bit of a sweetness there, but it's a really nice, comforting almost dark chocolate that's there. I think that dark chocolate that comes through along with that creaminess, just it combines that mouthfeel, that creamy dark chocolate mouthfeel and the dark chocolate flavor that's in there, that's just borderline almost too dark chocolate, but it's just so satisfying. It's like a filling kind of dark chocolate, and that's something that you don't get every day. Like, I think something that when I at first tasted this, one thing that kind of reminded me, it reminded me of White Flame from Black Flame Brewing that I had, I think it was like 2019. That beer reminded me, that had more of a maple, that has a maple kind of finish, and this one is more chocolatey, and there's obviously no maple finish, there's no bourbon barrel finish or anything, and I would be really intrigued to see how this would be bourbon barrel aged with that kind of BBA addition or that oaky kind of addition, but the way it is, wow, it is borderline a perfect dark chocolate kind of stout. It's a milk stout, it's a double milk stout, or an Imperial Milk Stout, so you're getting that creamy, milky kind of flavor and the sweetness that comes through with that. I think the sweetness from the milk stout is what kind of helps temper that dark chocolate. I can't stop talking about this. I feel now like I was excited for a reason, and now that it's warming up just a little bit more, I feel like I'm getting almost a bit of a cola kind of flavor on the aftertaste or on the finish, but the dark chocolate in this is so, again, along with that creamy mouthfeel, there's just so much going on there that it's just such a satisfying dark chocolate stout. And there's times when you have stouts that have that dark chocolate flavor, they're just not enough of it, or they have other elements that kind of take away from that. But this one is the real deal. And Five Shores Brewing, I'm now going to be on the lookout for some of their other stuff. I think I have a can. The other one that I think they've released is Float On, and I think I actually have a can of that. So now I'm really looking forward to trying that one and seeing what that one's all about. All right, friends, that has been Scoops from Five Shores Brewing in Beulah, Michigan. Have you had this beer? Have you had anything from Five Shores, or do you have any new breweries that you think I should check out? Let me know in the comments down below while you're down there. If you like beer, you might want to subscribe and click that bell, because I'm here talking about beer twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's all for free for viewers just like you, and you might miss your newest favorite, or you might not have found out about Scoops if you weren't subscribed and getting those notifications. So until next time, I'm Sean from Draft Therapy. Thanks for stopping by. Remember, drink craft beer, support your local breweries, and most importantly, don't forget to treat yourself to a little draft therapy. Thanks for stopping by. Cheers.